Beauty Brains Bubbly Uncorked is all about empowering women through the sharing of ideas. We're going to be tackling topics pertinent to women, some difficult and occasionally a taboo subject matter, in an open and honest way, with humor, authenticity, and joy, in the hope that you will feel welcomed and choose to join us in the deep and meaningful discussions that impact all of our lives. In today's show, we are talking about the age discrimination of women in the dating process. Welcome.
Welcome to another Friday on the Couch. I am here with Kara, who is my partner in crime on the couch every Friday. And then we have an incredibly special guest, and I'm so excited. She came all the way from Las Vegas. Really glad she can be here. This is Amy Leadingham. She is a dating and relationship coach. There are a lot of us out there that are single. I am actually not one of them any longer, thank goodness. But I have my own dating horror stories that we can definitely share later. But in the meantime, I want Amy just to tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll go into a confessional in just a few with someone else who's right in the middle of dating and having some really interesting experiences. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, I'm a master certified relationship coach, and what I love doing is working with singles and helping them get smart with dating by becoming mindful and conscious with dating. And a lot of us, I think, when we set out on the journey of dating, we kind of wing it. And there's a lot of stuff underneath, like maybe some childhood trauma or maybe some dysfunction that we don't even think about that shows up in the way we choose people or our dating world that really affects our success in dating. So that's why I became a coach, so I can help people move past that so that they can get the love that they really deserve and want.
One of the things that's changed significantly is the fact that people are dating, they're starting their dating process more online, which I even remember when I was single, it was a little weird, because I felt like people aren't honest. It's almost as if people are creating profiles for themselves, and
Describe it. Yep.
it's like when you watch a McDonald's commercial and that burger looks so good in the commercial,
Yep.
but then you drive through the actual McDonald's and you order it and you open that little package and you're like, this is disgusting.
Yep.
So sorry, McDonald's. I know that's probably not a great thing to
a really
say.
great
They're definitely not a sponsor of the show, obviously. But I felt like online dating was like that. And then to make matters worse, if you're later in life and going through that process and you're a woman, there seems to be a lot of age discrimination against women. I'm going to say over 40, and you may have a different take on this, but 40 seemed like the cutoff. If you were over 40, I mean, the chances of a guy your age finding you were like next to none. You might be able to hook an 80-year-old who's fishing, in the younger fish pond, but it's tough. So the confessional that we're going to share is actually from a gal by the name of Julie, who is out of Sacramento, California. And I'm going to let's let it run, because boy, she's had a tough one.
Started hanging out with this guy. I asked him like his age, and he said he was 41. And I asked him if he had ever been married. He said no. Do you have any kids? He said no. And then it spinned on me. And then he's like, how old are you? 48. He got quiet. And he was just like, what? And I said, I'm 48. And he was just like, you have kids, what's their age? And I said 28 and almost 25. And he's just like, really? He was disgusted. But he like went into shutdown mode, and he immediately took a step back from me, started looking at his cell phone. I tried to engage in conversation, maybe to I know it was kind of shocking, but it's like, holy crap. Seriously, he just like completely shut down. And he wouldn't even really talk to me at that point. And I was just like, We just spent almost 2 hours together. We had a blast. We had a good time. I didn't say this, but this is what I'm thinking in my head. What is going on right now? I was actually like shocked. It's a little red flag when you are in your early 40s and you haven't been in a long-term relationship or married and you don't have kids, or, you know, those are things that as women that we think about. It's like, holy crap, you're almost the same age as me. Seriously, you're almost the same age as me.
Oh,
I mean, granted, there's a little bit of an age gap there, but I mean, it sort of sets you aback. What was it? Like, literally, it's the number. That's when everything changed. Because 2 hours prior to that, he thought she was just a hot number hanging out and all was well. The minute she dropped her age, though, game over.
yeah. I think honestly, in the world of online dating or just dating in general, when I talk to men, a lot of them are looking for someone that's younger than them. And like you said, there's this thing, right? And I'm always like trying to rework their perspective, because a lot of the, you know, it depends on the maturity level. Age itself, you could date somebody that is equal to age of him, but maybe acts like an 18-year-old, and it wouldn't work out anyways.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So I think the hardest part, I think, here is she shouldn't take that on. I mean, to me, it's like you base quality based on the person, how they treat you. And if this is their first initial reaction, that means they're extremely judgmental. Do you really want somebody like that in your life? There are plenty of men out there that are younger that would date a woman that's older and have no problem. It's just this guy.
You say it's just this guy, but there are a lot of women in the over 40 dating world who will tell you that they get bypassed, you know, like I said, particularly in the online world,
Yeah.
because you can set cutoff dates, and you literally aren't even your profile isn't even going to be seen, because men your age are only going up to, they're maxing out at maybe 39, probably some of them even younger than that, and they're not even looking at there's not even an opportunity to get in front of those people. So from an online dating perspective, if you're older, is that not the avenue for you?
I actually work with a lot of older women with the online dating world, and what we do is we actually write the people and choose the people. There's actual studies that show that when women write men, they have 3 times of a chance of getting a return message from them. So, and also they actually get more attractive dates, people that they're attracted to, that they like. So I'm all about breaking out of that algorithm, because we're relying on this like superficial tool that doesn't really gauge human chemistry, doesn't gauge human emotions. It's just specific words. And in order for you to like overlook those things, you have to be the chooser and take the initiative to write men. And there's tons of men that would be excited to get a beautiful message from a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right. She's gorgeous. I mean, she's a beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful gal. So yeah, I would think if she's the one reaching out, that makes sense. Okay, so to me, that brings up another really interesting dating point
Sure.
that I do want to ask you about, because I'm a little weirded out by it. So
Okay.
it seems like there has been this weird shift that has happened. It used to be that as a woman, you could kind of, so let's say you're out in a bar and you see, a good-looking guy, and, you smile and you make eye contact, and like, I'm looking at Kara as if she's the beautiful man that's in the room that I'm trying to engage with. I'm all, let me make sweet eye contact with you. But now I feel like the guys are not in a position any longer where they feel like they're going to be the ones that get up and cross the room and come over and engage. It's like it's flipped, and they kind of hang back now, and they wait for the gal, and the younger women are doing it. They're like, fine, no problem. I'll jump all over this. But if you come from our generation and you're out dating, that to me feels weird. Like I don't want to. When I was single, I did not approach. I expected that was this is going to sound,
It's all right.
I expected it to be the man's role. I expected him, I'll make the eye contact, I will let you know that I'm open, but I do expect you to, if you're interested, to take the initiative. Same thing, I'm not going to get down on one knee and ask you to marry me. Same thing with the approach to dating. I expect that you are going to be the person that comes up and makes that move.
Even with the way I approach dating is more of the old school mentality. But here's what's interesting. When it comes to online dating, I say throw all those traditions out the door.
Ah.
So it's about really using it as a way to connect with each other, kind of like going to the grocery store and bumping into each other, but you're doing it online, right? And you're having this mutual conversation, and you're not trying to be pen pals, you're trying to connect in person. So once the two people meet in person, usually the guy knows how to take the lead. They know the traditional way, and that's kind of the way I tell the lady I work with to approach the dating realm, to not have that idea of tradition when you're online, but in person, they can court you.
So do you agree? I've always felt that, and I have 3 sons, so I have to be careful with this because I feel bad sometimes saying this because I know financially for them in college and they're just starting out, it's expensive to be a guy and go on dates. At the same time, my expectation for them or for myself going on a date has always been that the man should pay, the woman should at least be willing to offer to split, because you don't want to come across as someone who is just out for a free meal. However, the guy that would take that card and actually go splitsies with me would never in a million years get a second date. Does that make sense?
It does, and I agree with you 100%.
You do.
For me, but so this is what I work with anywhere, like I said, older women to millennials, right?
Right.
And the one thing that I actually tell them to do is go meet for a coffee or a cocktail. Don't make it into a dinner, because you're spending like almost over an hour with someone that you're just really trying to gauge to see if there's chemistry and there's some similar core values.
You're just looking
You're
to see if
right.
they
You're
look like
literally
a
just
fit.
shopping online.
Yeah, well, you
know,
are.
And you're trying to figure out what level of commitment
Yeah.
that you're willing to put in monetarily. And it seems like, yeah, it's a business agreement at that point. You're nothing at that point. 2 dates later, dinner sounds
There you go.
amazing.
There you go. It's a meetup. I call it a meetup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a ton of sense, because I do feel like, again, people don't necessarily post pictures that are accurate. I can completely, and that is not just the women that are doing that. The men are just as bad.
80% of people lie.
80%?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Height, weight,
Oh, we're going to talk about the
everything,
height
income, all sorts of things.
thing. Yeah.
Because then they go, well, but then they'll meet me, and then it won't matter.
What do you
It's
tell
about being
people about
authentic.
that?
I say be authentic and genuine, because, and I'll tell you my own, I met my husband online, and I didn't put the most amazing photos. And when people met me in person, they were like, oh, you look a lot better in person than you in the photo. I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing.
good thing.
But I say put your best foot forward, but be real, be authentic, because they're going to meet you in person anyways. And if you're starting off with a lie, I know 80% of the people out there, putting, fake things in their profile. You're starting off with a lie. You're starting off with inauthenticity.
Right.
And even the ladies, like I have a lady that she's 69 years old, but she looks like she's in her early 60s. And she wanted to date somebody, around 65 and under. So I said, okay, well, let's, work with the algorithm, but I want you to be absolutely truthful in your profile and say how old you are.
Okay.
But we can just put you like maybe a little notch under the 65 range, so that you can get through to the younger men. And it worked. She's dating somebody right now for the last 3 months, and he's 5 years younger than her, and he doesn't have a problem with it at all.
That's
So
awesome.
that's the way you get
It's
around
really interesting how, at first online dating, people were like, oh, they found their guy on online dating.
Yeah.
Like that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And at the time I'm thinking, it's great. Like you don't have to go try to meet 30 people at the grocery store. You get to sort and troubleshoot right there and go, maybe this will work and maybe that'll work. And then it sort of turned into this like mass production of people taking selfies and lying online and just going out for hookups. And I think that very much muddied the pool of dating, you know, and that's when we come up with the hookup sites. Like if you want to hook up, go to this site. I'm actually trying to find a date is what most people are saying. Yeah, I'm actually trying to find someone to partner up with. And now I think we're almost like people are, some of the people that I've talked to are not online dating. They're like, this is just too much. Everything's a lie. I'm just discouraged.
Or not dating.
Yeah, some people are just giving up. I mean, you know, I told you I'm doing some of this stuff on the side with speed dating for people that don't want to do online dating because they want to learn how to connect with people in person and practice. But the people that even give up, they're just like, I don't even think that there's anyone out there. I think that's, honestly, this is our one life to live. There's someone for everyone. And it takes
some people have
vulnerability.
2 or 3.
Yeah, some people have,
at a time.
And it's a great relationship for them. But it's more about, gosh, you got to be vulnerable and take risk, you know, because love is like everything else. It's not that you can't attain it. It's about maybe there's some areas that need developing so that you can be better at dating. Maybe there's some self-reflection that needs to be done in order to attract a person. That's why I call it like attracts like.
Yeah.
So if you're dating all these unavailable guys and you're attracted to them,
What's really going
what's
on?
going underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. So when I was single and I would go on dates, there's a level of frustration, right? If 80% of the people that show up aren't the way they represented themselves online, you can very quickly just be like, I don't even want to do this anymore. But I tried to reframe it for myself and say, okay, look, chances are this is not going to be, this date is not going to be my dream future husband, like my everything. However, everybody has one good story.
Yeah.
Everybody has one good story. So if I can sit down and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine with someone, and all I get out of it is one funny story, or I learned something new, or, you know, whatever, to me, I would look at that as a win. I was like, okay, that wasn't a love connection, but boy, I got a new story for, next time I go out with my girlfriends on a Saturday night.
Right.
I got a good one. So, you know, looking at it, so there's not so much pressure on it, that it sort of just lightens things up, and you're like, it's an opportunity. I mean, what a great opportunity that we don't necessarily we have in front of us, but we don't always take when we're in relationships, is we don't expand our circles very often. We don't necessarily reach out and go have a cup of coffee or a cocktail with someone that we don't know. And when we're dating, that's a time where we do, and why not enjoy it? We should probably pull more of that into our regular lives, even after the fact of dating. There are so many great people to meet and interesting connections and things that potentially can lead to opportunities and friendships and all kinds of cool things. But we bypass all of that because it's like, oh, well, I'm not really looking for, love right now. I've found my partner. Yeah, well, it doesn't always have to be about that.
Yeah.
Well, every new relationship that you have, no matter what they are, changes you. Literally changes you and your perspective. Like, however you interact with that person is going to be different from the last time you had an interaction with a similar person. I mean, actually, I've gone through stages of my life where I was like, no more friends. I don't need any more friends. I don't want to meet anyone. I don't have time. I don't have the energy. I don't have whatever. And then, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready for some new friends. Like, I've worn all the old ones out. Like, I need some new ones.
You get traded in by a new model.
And I need a new one. But yeah, and then all of a sudden, I met like 10 new people that I just thought were really cool. And I'm like, wow, new friends. Sweet.
All right, your very, very best number one, if you can give one piece of dating advice to someone, what is it?
Knowing your non-negotiables, your relationship non-negotiables, your deal breakers. Know them before you go out there. It's like having a job description before you're saying, hey, the job is available.
Right.
Because it's going to be work, people.
Right. You're applying for the CEO position and you're getting the dishwasher.
I think that that's what makes, so the difference between dating when you're young and dating when you're older, second time around, third time, fourth time, whatever it is, because for everybody, you know, we're all in different places in our lives. But I know for me, that was one of my things that I realized that early on, I wasn't necessarily thinking about important areas that we needed to have in common. So now when I look at my boys, the things that I think of when I say, okay, this is what you should be thinking about in terms of relationship are, how do you like to spend your time? And find a partner that is similar to that. How do you like to spend your money?
Yes.
Find a partner that likes to spend their money in a similar way. How do you like to keep your home?
Yep.
Find a partner that likes to keep their home the same way. So instead of going out and picking people who are so vastly different from ourselves, that there is always going to, I'm not going to change them, they're not going to change me. All we're doing is creating a situation where there is going to be conflict. Pick someone who's closer. It doesn't mean they have to be your, identical twin, but on the important stuff, I need to pick someone who, I need to know myself
Yep.
really well, and then pick a partner who's got the important stuff in common.
Yep.
So that we can actually live together. Because I can think of best girlfriends that I love them to death,
And live with them.
but I can't live with them. I can't live with them. And I don't think it's any different when you're talking about your partner, your spouse, is you may be the hottest, greatest, coolest person in the world, but if we don't have things like that in common,
It just fizzles
we can't, we're not going to make it.
Yeah.
It's just it's work. It's
And
uphill.
Most people,
Hard work.
what they do is they start trying to change your partner to fit in their world because they're like, oh, I'm so invested.
Or they
Yeah.
try to change themselves to fit their
Yes,
partners.
That too.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you like country.
I'm into tennis.
Right?
Whatever.
I took a tennis lesson once. I play tennis.
I'm a Warriors fan now, and I wasn't before. So. Love you, Clay. Okay, so we're going to take a quick moment. I want to share a little bit on beauty before we move into our next topic.
There are some truly wonders about getting older. I love the beautiful wisdom that comes with almost 50 years around the sun, becoming more comfortable in who I am, discovering my purpose, passions, finally finding meaning and happiness in this great big life. At the same time, my physical body with age is beginning to deteriorate, and I'm realizing that the time that I have left to really use it and enjoy it is running low. It has become more important than ever to me that I take care of myself, that I nurture and feed this body of mine. Because while people may be living longer, they're not necessarily living better. I found the science behind Elysium bases interesting because they focus on the key components of our body that tend to slow as we age and why it happens. Skin function, kidney function, the support cells for our brains. There are studies out there that have shown that a molecule called NAD+ is hugely important, and we lose it as we age. I added Bases NAD+ to my morning routine about a year ago to help support my energy levels, my sleep, my cell function, and now I can't imagine my life without it. Check out the science for yourself on our website at www.beautybrainsbubbly.com. And cheers to an active and healthy second half.
I love that stuff. I'm trying to remember where I was when I ran across it for the first time. I think I was at one of those stores, honestly, like in the mall where it's like all the latest like tech gadgets and cool things that are out in the world, and you can walk around and they've got like the digital display and you can kind of read through or watch videos about the stuff. And here you have all of this tech stuff, and then there was, you know, this Elysium Basis, and I was like, what is that? Like, why is there this one random vitamin, you know what I mean? Like, or pill in this shop? What is that? And I started going through and reading, and I have to say, I mean, I'm on like this, I get a new one every month. It comes in, I take it every single day, and it's helped me a lot. I will say aging is one of those things. There's so many things changing in our bodies as we get older, and we slow down. So anyways, we're gonna bypass beauty. I wanna jump, because I love talking about dating. Maybe because I'm not dating any longer, I just find
so
it,
fun now.
it's such a fascinating, it's such a fascinating topic. So I'm gonna go straight into question of the day. Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
hear
let's
it.
do it.
All right, let's do it. Question of the day is, what's the strangest date you've ever been on?
Go, Amy, go.
I know Amy's
All
got
right.
one. Come on.
All right. I was like a serial dater, warrior dater, okay? I mean, like going on like 5 dates in a week. I mean, it was a mission. I went on a date with this guy. He's like, I'm going to show you the best time of your life. I'm like, whatever. He picks me up, takes me to, at first I was like, this is really creepy. He's like, I'm taking you to a shiatsu massage.
Is that where they walk on
They
you?
walk on you.
Oh,
And it was a legitimate one. It wasn't like weird. It was at a really nice, fancy place. And then he goes, and we're going to top that off with sushi. And so he actually brought me to this rooftop bar where the massage place was. And you walk over across, and there was a sushi bar. And we had the most amazing time. That was the strangest because I've never had a first date like that before.
right.
Most memorable one
You're
I've
used
ever
to
had.
coffee.
But did you go on a second date?
We dated for a little bit. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
The funny part is my husband, the man that I actually canceled the date on and then called back, I ended up marrying.
Oh, you're like, I don't know if I'm really feeling this guy. He almost didn't even
Wow.
make it in the door.
Nice work.
That's funny. I will say, so I had a short stint where I was single again after being married for a lot of years. And I started going out and trying to obviously meet guys, but I kept getting hit on by really young men. And I was like, there have got to be men my age that are like, come on. There's got to be single guys my age. So a friend suggested that I do the online dating thing because she was like, look, here's the deal. You can set your criteria so that if you want to find guys that are over a certain age, you can say, look, I only want to look at profiles for people from this age to this age. And I was like, okay, that's perfect, right? So I didn't last very long doing this, by the way, but I was like you. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go warrior on it, and I'm going to date
Doing it like
every
a job.
day. Like it didn't know it was. It was like a
Job.
full-time job. So I went on a few. I got frustrated because I felt like a lot of these guys, not only did they not look like their pictures, but they overinflated like their life. So instead of just being straight and saying, yeah, I'm kind of a couch potato. I like to like sit home and watch reality television and eat pizza. They were, I'm a professional naked skydiver. And, you know what I mean? Like they lived these really extraordinary lives. Then they didn't look like their picture, like nothing seemed to be fitting. But the worst, and there were some bad
And I
ones.
remember this. I
There
don't
was
even know
one.
what you're going to say.
This guy, he took if 80% of the people lie on their profiles, he took that and he took it to an entirely different level. Oh, it's the best. So here was the
He
deal.
didn't just lie.
He lied about everything.
It's even lies by omission.
lies and more lies.
Lies upon lies.
So this guy, okay, so I'll give you, and you probably would immediately, as a dating coach, be like, red flag, red flag, red flag, but I didn't know any better. So his profile was this. It was one photo.
Oh, red flag.
Immediately she's all, no, red photo. And it's like a headshot, basically, a little bit of his body and mostly his face. But I kind of was intrigued because he wasn't a terrible looking gentleman. He was in my age range, which I was really looking for. He said that he was Italian. I'm Italian as well. He said he was a professional chef. And I was like, oh, you have my heart immediately. You're a man.
Had me an Italian chef.
Like, can we just like get naked in the kitchen and cook together? I am so in. The one thing that he had on his profile that for me wasn't a red flag, but for my girlfriend who saw it, the picture, she's like, there's only one picture of him in some kind of weird leather jacket. I'm not sure.
Padded shoulders.
But he said that I think he said he was like 5'7". And she said to me, she goes, he's going to be shorter than that. And I said, whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm 5'4". I had a lot of tall girlfriends growing up, so I was always just like, I'll take the short guys. Of course, I never did. My guy's 6'4", so sorry, ladies. Sorry, tall ladies. But I was like, oh, that's okay. As long as I can go out and I can maybe wear a small heel and not be towering over someone, I'm good. So we decided to meet for a glass of wine, right? I did good
that's a
there.
green thumbs up.
One glass of wine, how bad could it be? So I go to this wine bar. And if you've ever been to a wine bar, sometimes they'll have the wine bar like table. So they're high.
Yes, they're high
And
up.
they have the high stool, right? So I get there, this guy's late. I order a glass of wine. I'm sitting there. He walks in, and please don't take offense to this, but he was an actual midget. Not anywhere close to 5'7", not even close to 5'4".
5'7" in his heels.
He was down here on me.
Wow.
So he walks in and he jumps up onto the stool, and he's already kind of pissed off. And the waitress comes over and he's like, I can't sit here. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, he was too small for the table. And I'm thinking, oh, please don't bring him a booster. Like, this is just going to be such a bad date. If that's like, I don't know if I can do it. So she goes and finds another place for us to sit. So she says, oh, I've got this couch and then like these little like cushiony things that you can sit on in a coffee table. So I'm in front of him. I'm walking towards the couch where we're going to go sit that's lower. He's behind me. The head's turning like, well, this is the weirdest couple ever. I walk past the coffee table, past the little stools, and I sit down. And I'm thinking, first date, he's going to sit on the stool across from me and we're going to have a conversation, right? Oh, no. Walks right past, hops up onto the couch, throws his arm around me like we know each other that well, and then proceeds to tell me, basically, not only did he lie about his height, which is whatever, but he's still married. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a home. He just flew in from New York. He was like couch surfing. Let's see. He might have had a car. I think he had like a car that he was driving.
Like a Tonka?
Yeah, probably. A little mini car. And then when I asked him, I said, because I'm fascinated by, I thought, okay, he's somehow a professional chef. I don't know how that works. But I asked him, where did you go to culinary school?
Oh no, I'm waiting to hear this.
He hadn't, but he'd cook for some people that were kind of famous. And I was just blown away. I'm like, not only were you, rude to the cocktail waitress, super, like, who does that on a first date? Like, it was so, regardless of your height, you don't make the presumption that you get to jump up and put your arm around me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right out of the gate. And then everything
At least he didn't sit in your lap.
was a falsehood that he had put on everything.
Yep.
And I thought, I'm done. I'm canceling my online date membership because this is the height of a bad date right here. Like, I paid for my own wine, by the way, and I did sit there with him through an entire hour of.
You didn't have to.
I know, and that's where shame on me for doing that. But that was terrible, and I think about that when I think about like people that are still single and going out in the world and doing this stuff. Like, there are some funny stories that come out of it, but at the time when you're in it,
It hurts.
it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's wasting your time.
All right.
Precious commodity of time.
Yeah, time is precious, isn't it? That is frustrating.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to switch us over to our very last thing that we're going to talk about today, which is our growth challenge.
Yes.
Oh.
So this one is basically finding ways to perform a random act of kindness. So I'm gonna jump to Amy. Have you ever done that, and then what was your experience with it?
Yeah, actually, it was winter time, really, really cold. There was a gentleman. He was homeless, and he didn't have a lot on him. And I did go into Walgreens, going inside there, and I saw that they had sweaters. So I picked up some food and a sweater, and just to keep him warm. And that's the best I could do for him for that day. And I hope that really helped him. Yeah.
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 I would say the homeless situation, I've done that too. We were in San Francisco, and it was really cold. It was Christmas time. And I mean, out on the street, no socks, no shoes, just like I was cold just looking at him on the street. And I drug Jamie around, and we bought socks and gloves. And then we just ended up, passing things out to people. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've been a gazillion times done those like homeless things. It's like I'll actually carry extra pairs of shoes, weirdly, because I don't know, somehow we end up with extra things, but I'll carry extra shoes and stuff in my trunk, or sleeping bags or whatever. But I know,
Random
because
sleeping
I'm
bags in your
crazy.
trunk.
Well, yeah, but I don't like to be cold.
Yeah.
So seeing people cold, it just gets me. And I'm like, maybe they don't mind being cold. Maybe I'm oversensitive to cold. But no, my favoritist one was, I was on my way to pick up Sophie from high school. And there were these two like Cheech and Chong dudes in a mini, or in like the old like creeper vans. But it was just their car, right? And up to the school is this very, very slight hill, and their van died. And I'm coming up behind, and it's like it's a weird intersection. It's an unsafe intersection. And I was like, oh, damn it. And I pull my car behind, and I put my blinkers on, and I literally got out, and I was like, okay, you go steer. Come on, we're going to push this thing. And we like pushed this big old van like up this hill, and I'm like, it's so hot today.
The
Random.
safety person in my brain is like, wait, you're a lone single female. You got out of your car to
They were
help
both shorter than me.
two men
take
in a
'em.
van, Cheech and Chong van.
So funny.
I'm like, alarm bells are going off, like ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding. I'm not sure.
They're never gonna get me.
That's a great one.
They're never gonna get me.
Yeah, so that would be my recommendation. I did it just the other day in a grocery store, and I was on my last dollar, but there was an older gentleman that was looking for like these just disposable pie tins, really simple. But for some reason, the very young clerk was just leading him in the total wrong direction. He had already checked out, and I was like, they're right there. They're literally right there. So I'm like, just grab them, and then I just rang them through and had him take them, and he was just like, oh. But I
was
think
so happy.
Yeah, but I think it made me happier than it did him. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun
nice
to
to
do.
help.
It makes people feel good, and it's fun when it's a random thing like that where it's completely unexpected. Like, why would someone buy you pie tins? But
And that's really thoughtful, because you made his day. He made that pie, and he ate it.
that was a very, very special pie for that guy.
He thought of you.
And he
I
thought
hope
of
so. I hope you thought of me when you had
And
your
every
pie.
time he makes pie.
So I want to say thank you to Amy for
Thank you.
coming in and being on the couch with us. Really enjoyable.
Cheers.
I hope that you will come back and talk more dating stories, because it's so fun.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone who is been along for the ride with us tonight, and cheers to all of you, and we hope to see you again next Friday on the couch.
Thanks for watching. Beauty Brains Bubbly Uncorked is about embracing life's challenges, taking mighty risks, and pushing ourselves to grow with just a little less fear, knowing that we're not alone in our journeys. We would like to invite you to be a part of this community of brave, bold women who are going deep. Share your story. Visit us at beautybrainsbubbly.com. Stick around. Check out our other videos. Subscribe. Share the show with the women you love. We make a mighty and powerful tribe. This show is made possible through advertiser support, and we love getting discounts and special deals from them that we can share with all of you. To get the special offers that they've extended, click the affiliate links below or grab them on our website. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you again.